Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be going over how I went from 0 to $1 million in revenue through job servicing. So before we get started, feel free to sign up for my free webinar training down below where I go over my top 10 ways to go viral on YouTube. It's absolutely free and also includes my $5,000 course guarantee. And in addition to that, feel free to also join my free YouTube mastermind cash cow Facebook group in which I help people grow on YouTube. So with that being said, let's get started with this video. Now, I made a previous video covering over my income streams, and one of those income streams, I've been making this money from job servicing, but seeing the actual numbers and talking about them, it actually gave me the realization in which, job servicing really is a side hustle that individuals can do and make a lot of money from. So in that previous video, if you haven't go watched it, it's called my 11 income streams at age 26. I went over this slide here, and this is how much I make from job servicing, okay? And it is quite a bit amount of money. So for this year alone, I'm already on about $700,000. I'm on track to break $1 million in revenue. But keep in mind, revenue versus profit, even though I say I make $1 million in revenue, that doesn't mean that $1 million is what I take home. The profit margin is like 30%, so therefore I only get about $200,000 of that, especially after taxes and such, and paying the team and actually paying the contractors. But again, go ahead and watch that video. It's called my 11 streams of income. But what I want to go over is how did I make $1 million in revenue through job servicing. So if you don't know what job servicing is, this is taken straight from Google. It is the practice of selling a service to a customer for a certain price in which you profit. It also can be considered as service arbitrage, in which you arbitrage the price difference between what a client is willing to pay for a service and what someone is willing to get paid to perform the service. So really successful business I've seen work well in job servicing. I've seen virtual assistant services get job service. I've seen SEO services get job service. Social media services especially do very well in job servicing. Those are the big three that I can come up with. So let me write this down so you guys can see. So big three that I've seen work: SEO services, social media services, and what was the last one I said? SEO services, social media services, and virtual assistant services. Sorry, I just had a brain fart there. But yeah, those are the three biggest ones I've seen work successfully. I'm not saying this is what I do. I'm just saying I've seen it work successfully based on what other people have done, people that I know. So how I got started with job servicing, I didn't even know job servicing was an actual searchable term until this month. I kid you not. I did not know that job servicing was actually a searchable term until I downloaded vidIQ, was searching what people were searching for to find my channel. It turns out about it was like 6 or 7% of the people who reached my channel were typing in job servicing, and one of my videos were showing up. So I pondered or ran into job servicing unexpectedly. And how it started was that unbeknownst to me that I was actually performing job servicing, I saw that there was a demand. I became the supplier, and my goal eventually was that I became one of the biggest suppliers for this demand. So this is an image I took off of Google, in which this is basically the job servicing chain, in which it starts with the client, or it can start with you, or it can start with the freelancer. But let's just start from top to bottom. So client gives you $100 for a service, and you give $50 to a freelancer or a contractor. The contractor or freelancer delivers to you the service, and then you deliver the final delivery to the client. So it just works in a circular motion in which client gives you money, you give money to the freelancer gives you the service, and then you give the service to the client. A very streamlined way of making money online. In this case, everyone wins. The client gets a quality service, you make money, and also the freelancer or contractor also makes money. So here's basically the job servicing blueprint. So number one, find and demand. So recall how I basically was browsing on the internet, doing whatever internet marketing venture I was doing, and I found out that there was a demand that needed to be fulfilled. So what I did was that I found a supplier, and it wasn't just any supplier, it's a primary supplier. So the reason why I'm going to mention that find a primary supplier. There's also going to be a secondary supplier. And the reason why you need more than one is because if your primary supplier goes missing during your transaction with an individual, you're going to be in trouble. So make sure you have at least 2 suppliers. So don't just find any supplier. Find a primary supplier and a secondary supplier. Sorry, excuse me. Step number 3 is that you're going to test out the primary supplier. So what do I mean by test out? You're actually going to order the service and rate its quality. Is it quality enough in order for you to deliver this to clients and actually promote this service? Step number 4, you're going to find a secondary supplier. And recall how I said earlier that the reason why you're getting the primary or secondary supplier is because just in case your primary supplier goes missing. So test out the secondary supplier, rate its quality. Now at this point, you're going to calculate the profits. And I'm going to be going over later in this course what is the best way to calculate the profits in terms of what's the fastest way to achieve exponential wealth. So step 6 is calculate the profits. Is it a win-win situation for everyone? So usually what I've noticed from job servicing is that the hardest person to kind of win, I would say, is actually us, the people who are wanting to do job servicing. The freelancers or contractors, they're going to get paid regardless. They're going to get paid their asking amount because that's what they're asking for. That's their requested price. So sometimes it's going to be difficult because if you could imagine the cons of job servicing, if the client is, really, really searching, they can find you who's selling the service at $100, but they can also find the freelancer or contractor who's selling the service at $50, right? So that's where the kind of problem lies, in which, okay, client knows that someone else is selling the service for $50 and then you're selling the service for $100. Why would they buy the service from you for $100? So later at the very end of this video, I'm going to be going over exactly what you need to know in order to sell your service for $100. So find a secondary supplier, test out the secondary supplier, calculate the profit. So just make sure that there's profit for you. And next you're going to find the client. And then lastly, deliver the work. Okay, so these 8 steps, that's basically job servicing in a nutshell. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated on this, especially when you're generating thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions in revenue. So can you get rich from job servicing? My answer is 100% yes. And it's entirely possible. If I, unbeknownst, ran into this model of business without even trying, I'm sure that you can too as well. So here's how you can get rich from job servicing. So there are 2 factors which you can manipulate in order to accelerate wealth. Number 1 is scale, which refers to the number of units sold. And number 2 is magnitude, and this relates to the cost per unit. And I actually referenced this book here. I got these, I'm learning this from a book I read a couple months back called The Fast Lane Millionaire. Fantastic book, but the rest of the slides are going to be based on things I've taken from this book. So in this case, we are referring to the price of your service or units. And in other words, you can either sell more services, which is scale, or increase the price per service, which is magnitude. So I'm actually going to give you an example of something I dropped before in the past. So if you want to do this, by all means, go ahead and shoot for it, okay? So this is job servicing with focus on scalability. So job servicing with increase in scale. So imagine that you're selling book covers for $100 each. We're talking about like ebook design covers, especially because ebooks are very popular right now. You find a supplier who can do the book covers for $75. You post your services on a popular indie ebook writing forum and attract and retain up to 300 clients per month. 300 clients times $25 profit margin. Okay, because 100 minus 75 equals 25, equates to $7,500 per month. So how are you going to scale this? Okay, so in this case, if you focus on scalability, in order to earn more, you can simply just sell to more clients, right? So instead of selling to 300 clients, you can sell to 400, 500, 1,000 clients, 10,000 clients. That's how you accelerate wealth in terms of scalability. So with the same scenario, $100 book covers, $75 is what you're paying for it. $25 profit margin. Now, in order to increase your wealth through magnitude, in this case, you can simply just increase the price of your book cover. So instead of selling your book covers for $125, you would now sell them for $150. You would now sell them for $200. You would now sell them for $300. It depends on you, all right? So magnitude and scale. When you leverage both magnitude and scalability and drop servicing, that is when you accelerate your wealth exponentially through drop servicing. I mean, it is insane how fast you can make money. Once you have the supply chain kind of rolling, once you have this rolling, simply leverage this factor or leverage getting more clients or do both of them at the same time, and your growth will just exponentially skyrocket. So that is how I was able to, one of the key factors on how I was able to hit $1 million in revenue. So in my case, because I understood, so the drop servicing business I'm in, because I understood the price point of my market, I was able to sell a premium price while selling to a ton of clients who needed this service. So my service definitely isn't the cheapest out there on the market. But again, I'm a believer in which if you try to go the route of keeping to undercut your competition, like if your competition is selling ebook covers for $100 and now you decide to sell ebook covers for $90, I truly believe that price differential, it kind of makes your service look cheap and less quality. That's just my opinion. Some people may think otherwise. Some people out there as well looking for the cheapest thing on the market. I'm 100% guilty of that. Like when I go to the grocery store, I always buy great value. I mean, today I was looking for bread and then just comparing price points. Okay, so that's a reasonable thing to think. But when you're looking to achieve like mass amounts of money and revenue, I don't recommend going the undercutting route or undercutting your competition. So I know my service wasn't the cheapest out there, but at the same time, I had to prove that my business was worth the premium price to as many clients as possible. So I'm going to show you how no matter what niche you're in drop servicing, you can prove that your premium price is worth it. So my key to drop servicing successfully, and this ties into what I said earlier in regards to how can you kind of blow the contractors out of the water and sell your service for $100. And this also ties into how you can sell for a premium price. So my key to drop servicing successfully is this: bundle services together. This is absolutely key, and this has been a game changer. And this is honestly why I believe that I have been able to earn a lot of revenue. So this has been a game changer for me when it came to drop servicing. And back to our previous example, so instead of just selling a book cover for $100, why not sell the following altogether? You're going to sell your book covers for $150. You're going to sell proofreading services for like, let's say $200 per 2,000 words. Okay. You're also going to offer social media graphics. So we're talking Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're going to sell this for $300. Ebook formatting, $150. 30 days of social media posts, we're going to call this for $750, etc. So do you see how when you bundle all this together, it just looks so much more appealing than selling a book cover for $100? This is what leads to an increase in magnitude while also having the ability to increase in scalability. You can sell really high ticket offers by bundling it all together. And by doing so, you're going to blow this guy out of the water, okay? Recall how early in the video I was talking about how a client can just find this guy. Why would they need you? So the reason why they're going to need you is because you sell a bundled service. Instead of them having to find, I wish I could draw on this, right? So just pay attention to my mouse. Instead of client having to find a book cover design here, and then a ebook formatting person here, and then having to find a proofreader here, and then having to find a social media graphic designer over here, that's like 5 different individuals that they have to interact with and find, versus why not just come to you, pay a premium price, and they only have to, again, report to you. That is so much more appealing. So if you're going to do drop servicing, I'm not saying it's not going to work. Possibly it can. 100% can. Okay, I know that there's single bundled services that you can still drop service, but I'm just saying it was one of the keys to my success in being able to reach a lot of revenue, and that's bundling services. Okay, so I think that this is what led to an increase in magnitude, and also, sorry, me being able to increase in scalability. So tying into that, by you bundling services together, you will essentially beat any solo services out there. So the example again, a book cover design only service versus a bundled services. So this should actually say a book cover design service plus more versus only selling book cover design. So do you see the difference in which if you bundle everything and include a book cover design, that looks so much more appealing than the service that is just only selling a book cover design. So on top of that, this is key number point 1, in which I was able to drop service very successfully. Key point number 2 is create a brand business that you can drop service as. So creating a brand really helps, I believe, rather than just figuring yourself out as a freelancer or a contractor. I think building a brand has also helped to help me successfully drop service. So that's why I recommend that you also brand your drop servicing business. And I've created multiple brands that essentially sell the same service but to different markets. So depending on what type of ads I'm running or who I'm trying to cater to, I've actually sold the same service but just restarted the brand. And in doing so, I've been able to sell to different markets and such. So this is not something that's essential. This is just something that I've done. And the reason why I do this is because I like seeing where money's coming from. So I don't like combining markets all together, because then I won't see which market is, let's pretend I'm running ads. I run ads and call them under different businesses. And the reason why I don't like combining it all together is because I want to see which quote unquote business or named business is performing better than the other. So that's why I've decided to separate selling the same service into different brands. So that's my spiel on what I believe has led me to 0 to $1 million in revenue, and this is how I did it. So I'm hoping this helps you all who are looking to make some money online, and I think drop servicing is a fantastic way. I have quite a few handful of videos that cover drop servicing, and especially drop servicing with Fiverr. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Any questions, comments, or concerns, comment down below. I'm more than happy to help you out. In addition, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification if you're looking for more ways to make money online, and also make money from YouTube especially. That's what I specialize in. So with that being said, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.